morning. You guys get a little bit of bedhead Betty. I've been up for a little while, but I'm exhausted. I'm worn. I'm like beat. I'm so tired right now. Actually, you know what? Let me turn off these lights. I hate I hate outlines. It like rounds me out. Um, when I have these lights on. There we go. I think it should be a little bit better now. So there we go. A little bit better. A little bit better. Got too much light on one side, not enough on the other. There we go. I think that'll work better. Hi guys. It's nice to see you. I'm extremely exhausted. As you can see, I'm a little red. Like I got a little bit more color back in my face than I usually do. It's because I was out in the sun putting up flyers. And apparently there's some people in this community, predominantly the mother, the stepfather, and his parents that seem that they think they can harass people here, stalk them, hunt them down like rabid animals. That's kosher over here. I find it awfully funny that the officer had just left. It makes you wonder who's in whose pocket, though, because I mean there are some people that made it noticeable that Terry seemed to have gotten there fairly quickly after the law enforcement had left left my premises or left the area. So what had happened yesterday is there were some people online that thought it was wise to waste law enforcement's time for me posting flyers. Flyers all over. I posted from like out east, or not out east, but out in the country of Gallatin, throughout Gallatin into um, um, Beach Creek. I peppered all up where Beach Creek High School. I did like a whole mile and a half of roadway on Long Hollow Pike. I did the community, Katie and Chris's community. We did, I mean, literally a lot. It was a lot of time, it took hours. And literally, because I met from, you got to understand, I started meeting people yesterday at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And from 9:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, I was putting up flyers literally everywhere. Everywhere I went and I stopped and there was a pole, I put a flyer up. So there's literally flyers all around this community. And I did that because you know what? People were tearing down flyers. So I put them all over, literally all over the community from Gallatin all the way. So if they're going to be tearing down sides, it's going to take them a while. So I did a huge area of posting signs because it doesn't look like anybody's missing around here. There's not hardly any signs of Sebastian Rogers. And so some people online literally called the sheriff's department, wasting law enforcement resources, an hour of law enforcement's resources that could have been utilized to find Sebastian because I posted flyers on utility poles. Whatever idiot did that, you are so dumb. There's stupid. You need to go back to school. You're too stupid for the internet. Too stupid for the internet. Every single person that sits there and talks about it all comes back to a lady that I'm suing. Her name's Queen Bee. Every time we have any problems, everything always leads back to Queen Bee and the people that she associates with. Everybody. And this one is no different. So I believe it was her people that called law enforcement. We've got that Davis family chick that's a freaking lunatic. I have she's been making posts and stuff like that. So, all these people are connected to one person. I just keep finding it funny that all these connections keep happening everywhere I go, with just one, a handful of creators, but they're a group, you don't have one without the other type of situation. So it's just getting a little noticeable, but it is what it is. So the cops were called yet again. And of course, it was after Queen Bee directed people to call the cops, right? So cops were called again on a very stupid issue of me posting flyers. So, of course, the cop came there. As you guys saw, we were joking around quite a bit. I'm sure you saw him laughing and me laughing, right? I wonder what we were laughing about. So anyways, law enforcement doesn't have really the time to deal with YouTube stuff. And whoever keeps utilizing resources inappropriately, you guys are just wrong and stupid. And I want to say that very loud and clear. Wrong and stupid. Yes. I forgot I was wearing, yes, Kathy's reminding me. I forgot I was wearing because I get dressed, I go out and work. I put on my clothes. I don't think the rest of the day, right? All I think about is Sebastian, Sebastian, Sebastian. I didn't expect all this to happen, right? So I'm in this crystal clear shirt and I didn't even realize it. I'm taking video of, posting up flyers and stuff. I'm in this crystal clear shirt. I know I'm in it, but I don't think about it. It's just one of those things like I intentionally put it on, of course, naturally. I was wanting to wear, but I wasn't thinking I'm wearing the shirt and all this stuff is going on, right? And so here I am approaching Terry Bauer's socks because he's been following me. Obviously, you guys have seen, I'm sure there's plenty of posts of photos of him in the back of my windshield and in the front of my windshield and stuff like that. I had no idea he had been following me. He had been following me for a little while. So there's no misunderstandings of whether or not he was following me. Of course he was. He was stalking me. They can't go out and look for their grandson, but they have an hour of their time to follow me around. I find that highly disturbing. There's no justification for that. I made no contact with anybody here. Literally none. People made contact with me. The people that made contact with me, I've went out and I've met with. The ones that have made it public that they made contact with me, I've talked to you guys about that. So, there is that. So I've been out here doing a lot of groundwork, a lot of research, challenging some information. And then, of course, Nick Barris's, which I'm a little confused with. Maybe you guys can help me. So Nick Barris, I read his Facebook post, and he's basically implying that he thinks a third party is responsible, not any of the parents. I don't know if he knew that it took Chris Proudfoot 3 polygraph tests to pass. I don't know if that would change his assessment. I'm not sure, why he's saying that, because if all 3 parents are cleared, why doesn't law enforcement just tell us? I mean, it seems like it would solve a lot of problems, kind of like they did in Brandy's case when JD Huff brought Brandy and Tyler and sat them next to him and did a press conference and said, we're looking in another direction. I mean, granted, we didn't believe them. I mean, I did. I never thought Brandy and Tyler were responsible. Only later down the road. I mean, I had put them on a pedestal, but when things weren't getting resolved, and I was hearing, from another creator that at that point, I was friendly with, and she was just ragging them. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me just look. I didn't want to look into them because I didn't feel like they were. But then it got to a point where it's like, okay, kind of like with me and Pebbles and Katie, it's like, oh, okay, so now I'm going to Pebbles and I'm saying, hey, give me everything you got, right? So it was kind of something like that. And then when I was looking at it, it still wasn't enough. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to really think that, this family may have been responsible, right? I mean, I'm starting to look at it like that. Like it's been so much time. And I'm like, I can't. It's time for me to go out there. And that's what I did. I went out there and I did my kind of what I'm doing here. I did my due diligence. Before I ever met with Brandy or anything like that, I had already walked the neighborhood. I had already knocked on doors. I had already talked to neighbors. I had already handed out flyers. I had already been walking and talking. I had already met with the drone guy, the guy that got his $30,000 drone shot out of the sky when they were searching for the boy. And and he was out there assisting the police, and the police department wouldn't pay for it. So that was said. I don't even remember what his Cash App is. I don't think he ever got that paid for. He was devastated over that drone. It was this drone was big. Met with him, and I met with a lady that actually saw Brandy looking for her son before I ever even met with her. I had already done a mess of work before I even met with her. And that's kind of what I'm doing here is a mess of work. Trying to make heads or tails. I was hoping to be in the, basically in the bushes searching. But the problem I'm encountering here is, what bushes do we search in? Because at the end of the day, I don't feel like he's around his house. So that area has been thoroughly searched. That 5-mile radius around his home has been thoroughly searched. I don't believe he's there. I've always had a hard time believing he was that close to that house. But I told this to Seth. Since I walked into this town, since I've seen everything, I went here, I went to Memphis. I, drove along I-40. I've done all of that. And the place that's screaming out to me the most is Gallatin. And somebody reminded me that he wasn't from Gallatin. He's from Sumner County. He's not from Henderson. So I don't know what, I think they said his stomping grounds was more the White House area. But he's somewhere here. I feel like he's here. He's closer by than we think, but he's not that close. But he's not as far as I had originally, like I felt he was. You had me screaming yesterday. I was like, look behind you. You did. And then you need to review your video. It looks like he drove past you when you pulled up at the gas. That's what everybody says. I heard that. And he probably did because, he knew he was following me. And when I confronted him, I said, you have been following me. And he said, prove it. Well, we are. We are. The first step is showing your ugly mug, what you did, you dumb. And now we got all that footage. Did he not realize I was live streaming, or does he not know how it works? Like I said, they're not the sharpest. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed. I can tell you that. I can see why we're in a situation like this. I really can. And I'm sorry, I just disagree with Nick's assessment. But Nick basically said that he thinks a third party did it. But I heard that somebody wrote me and said that Nick, I don't know if it was on as him as an anchor, because I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. But he said something like law enforcement is now calling for all the neighbors to turn in their security camera. And I'm like, is this old? Like, I was trying to find it. I couldn't tell if it was old news or somebody, it's like somebody was coming across the article. Because I mean, I've done it before where you come across an article, you read it, it doesn't look familiar, and you're thinking it's breaking news, and you look down, and it was like a month ago. I've done that. I don't know how many times I've done that. You'd think it would be noticeable like right away, but sometimes it's just not. Okay, just isn't. And then after you do, you're like, it's like right there. It's like one of those things. Like it was a rattlesnake and would bit you, but you didn't even see it. Like it said right there, it's from April. And so I don't know, because I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. So I figured I'd ask you guys about that, if that was what Nick Barris had said. Was he is that my understanding? And then why haven't they done the forensics? I'm still, I don't know. I just need you guys to fill me in, because I didn't watch the whole thing with Nick Barris. I noticed that they had a Lego crane in front of Sebastian's picture. Yes, I noticed that too. Yes, there are creators on TT last night. I never forget his name, but he said he would go search with you. Oh, that was sweet. The police officer said no harm, no foul. Betty did nothing illegal. The police officer confirmed that, but Bowersox did. Yeah, they've been following me. I think that officer kind of had a sneaky suspicion, probably because of some of the calls that came in trying to give them my turn by turn. I don't think they've had that before. That is stalkerish behavior. No law enforcement thinks that that's respectable. I just want to tell you guys, the law is very clear in what you guys are doing is committing crimes, and you're the witness is the officer. Like, you guys just need to chill out, quit going real life. I'm allowed to move freely in this country. There's nothing, again, that anybody can do to stop me. You can call the freaking sheriff's department 1,000 times. They can come and meet with me every single minute of the day, and there's still not a damn thing they can do about it. I'm an American citizen that has a right to utilize any public space that I want to utilize. And until you people get that through your thick skull that I'm not breaking the law, how many times do you need me to talk to cops before you stupid idiots in the back understand I'm not breaking the law? How many more officers do you need me to speak to? You keep saying I'm breaking the law when I protest, which I'm usually around at least 4 officers every time I do that. I haven't gone to jail yet. That should be your clear directive that what I'm doing is not illegal. First and foremost, what I'm doing out here is not illegal. I think people need to understand the law. Law is not your emotion. If you don't like something, it doesn't make it criminal. It means you're a dumbass. I'm just saying. Change the channel if you don't like what I'm doing. Calling the cops is stupid. What do you think they're going to do? You have to commit a crime to be arrested. No crime is committed. If I committed a crime, I would go to jail. It's very simple. And sometimes crimes don't rise to the level of going to jail. You get a ticket. You guys are wasting resources over petty. Keep your asses off the phone. If you can't handle what I'm doing, don't watch. Good gracious. They were flyers. They were flyers. But these people don't care because what do they want? They want the content. They don't care. You want to know who the tragedy pimps are? The ones that are creating the garbage, the ones that are creating this chaos in order to capitalize off of it, literally utilizing law enforcement to get content. Do you guys understand that's what they're doing? And if you want to know which ones are doing it, go find out which ones have it all plastered on their pages, and you know who the instigators of this nonsense is. I tried telling you a long time ago they're doing this stuff. You guys keep saying they're not. And I keep showing you they are. You can't lie about this stuff, folks. I reckon Bowersox called police under and no, they told me that it was people from online. It was people online. They weren't even people from this community. You need to learn those words mean that you, because usually nothing. Betty wasn't arrested. She wasn't given a citation. Terry showed up clearly showing that he had nothing better to do than to watch Betty. Exactly, Black Hawk. I firmly believe they are stalking and interfering with, they are. They are. We came out here for a few things. We came out here to confirm Chris's story, which is falling short. I can't confirm it. He was not at work at 5:15. I'll stand behind that until somebody can provide me some actual receipts. He wasn't at work at 5:15. He didn't get there until it was time for his normal time, most likely, when he's supposed to start his job. His job starts at 7. Whatever normal time he gets there, whatever how many few minutes he gets there, for all I know, he could have been running late that day. All I know is he was not there at 5:15 in the morning. Somebody was spreading out rumors that he was asleep in the cab up there. I can't confirm that, corroborate that, or support that. I can't even find one person that saw him there that early or has ever saw him there that early. So, again, I don't know what to tell people unless they are absolutely, lying to me, which it's possible. I watched them yesterday. They are ruthless about you because I'm a threat. Because I know what the hell I'm doing. Michelle Vincent, thank you for the membership. Aw, Michelle, did you give a membership? Oh, that's sweet of you. Thank you. She said thank you. These people are calling the police, don't realize they have caller. You can't even get around caller ID. I mean, the chick that did the swatting call tried to block her phone number, and law enforcement gave me her name, her first name, last name, and her phone number. It was like literally printed in the report. Like they bypass all that stuff now. You are onto the truth. Yeah, well, it's we've been challenging some of the stuff. I mean, it's not really honing us into a specific location just yet. I'm working through it, but it's because I've got a lot of variables, a lot of variables that are making me question some things. For example, I'm trying to find a location. Like there's people out here that are upset because I'm using Sebastian and I use package. Okay. And I want to clarify this just like I did on TikTok earlier. I'm sick of people twisting words around. When I talk about a package, I'm talking about a deceased child, and I have his father in my chat. And it's a little better for me to palette a package when I'm referring to his son like that than using his son's name in a situation like that. Because you have to remember, Seth believes his son is still alive, and I would never want to extinguish that hope just because I'm doing a different investigation. Just because my stuff's leading me this way doesn't mean it's accurate, true, or correct. Sebastian is out there somewhere. We don't know what kind of condition he is in, and everything is on the table here. So for those people that are and then to twist my words, and I specifically said this, I specifically went out of my way whenever I was speaking about Sebastian as being defective, that's the way Katie is thinking, went out of my way to clarify that. And even said that I know people are going to try to run a narrative with this, but I want to be crystal clear. Remember, we made that joke that I'm talking as if I'm Katie. Do you think, and these people watch this stuff from beginning to end, and they knew that, and they didn't care. They wanted to peddle their narrative, and they wanted to peddle their lies. That is the streets of these YouTube streets, and that's why these channels are not growing. They're not just, when they can't attack me, they're going to be attacking another creator. They're going to be attacking the Jennifer Coffin Daffers. They're going to be attacking the Chris McDonoughs. Why? Because they're miserable people. If they took half of that energy and used it for good, this platform would be a heck of a lot better for everybody. I mean, think about how miserable that has to be. I mean, you guys are probably miserable watching it. I mean, I can't do it. I don't know how you guys do it. I can't do it. I really don't. Give me just a second here. So let me go over here. Oh, wow. I didn't even see you guys. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Why does this thing? I hate this case summary that comes up on StreamYard now, like our studio, like go away. Kelly Max says, keep fighting the good fight, Betty. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Sebastian Strong. Thank you for doing all you're doing. We love you, BHB. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Michelle donated 1 gift membership. Thank you. Marmy became our newest member of this crazy group we call the Coffee Cup. Oh, and Marmy gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. So if you received Marmy's membership, please tell her thank you. These people are calling the police, don't realize they have caller ID. I know, this is so stupid. Oh, SPED teacher, thank you. Rage quit, rage quit. I love you. And so Nina gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. God bless you, Nina. And Mally Cat, thank you so much. I love the diamond. That's awesome. That's cute. Thank you guys. You guys are too sweet. But it was, I mean, for the most part, everything went without a hitch, though, yesterday. We had no problems. Up until that point, we had no problems. But see, the content creators and these buttheads out here don't care. Remember the days when they used to try to say and go on their platform, look at Bullhorn Betty wasting. And I kept telling you, it's all them. They're the ones causing the wasted resources. Remember me telling you that? They're trying to blame it on me, but they're the ones picking up the phone, calling them on me. Remember, we went through all of that, and you kept saying, and their people were like, no, they would never do that. Well, guess what? Every single town I go to, when they do that, I pull reports because I want to see who's doing it and who they're connected to, because I'm in a lawsuit. So, all this stuff is creating a paper trail for them as well. And they need to understand that their paper trail ain't looking good. They think they're playing these funny games, but they're creating a very, very, very specific paper trail. And so this is what, and again, this is what the officer told me when he stood out there. And you guys can go out there and watch it for yourself. You guys didn't see us having like this really serious powwow conversation, did you? You saw us having a conversation, joking, laughing, talking about some stuff, right? I mean, if you don't believe me, go back and look for yourself. Go back and look for yourself. The officers are tired of this drama being created by these jerks here on social media. Okay, you guys think you are the problem. Calling law enforcement for posting flyers? Believe me, you are the problem. You are absolutely the problem. Thank you, Tony. It's nice to see you. Is that the real Tony? Do I need to mod you too? You need to text me. Actually, it's not a bad idea, Tony. You might want to text me if that truly is you. You might want to text me and tell me that's you. And I'll mod you so we know it's you next time. Actually, let me text you. Let me text you. Yep. Okay. There you go. Okay. Well, now we got you and Seth. You know what? don't know. There it is. Sorry, guys. There we go. Sorry. I had to get something. I just realized I needed something real quick for someone. There we go. All right. All right. Thank you. Tony, you should be modded now. So now we'll know when you come in here, it's you and nobody else, because people have been, if anybody doesn't know, one of the reasons why I modded Seth and Tony is because, there's been a lot of impersonating of accounts. And so when they come in here with those impersonated accounts, we want to identify that they're impersonated accounts, because we have Seth modded and Tony modded. So now if anybody comes in here with their names, we'll know it's not them and immediately remove them. So hopefully that's not the case. It just sounds, I know for the normal people, it's like, who would impersonate? Idiots. I can already hear you guys saying, who would do stupid stuff like that? Idiots. This social media. These people do not have brain cells. Some of these people have no brain cells. They really don't. They're deluded. We have to remember that. We talk about mental health and even sometimes joke about it in all reality, but there are a lot of people that are home. Okay. You understand that can't really work. And so those people are also, they got to fill their days with things too. And sometimes they wind up on social media because they had nothing better to do. And, they're still not, and that kind of displays out in their behavior. And then, and I'm sure that's why it's in every single genre. It's not just here. We don't have just nuts over here in true crime. I know it seems like it because we're all in true crime and it's all the time. But I can tell you they have these kinds of things going on in the yarn community. I'm not lying. The yarn and crocheting community. I don't even mean to laugh. But that to me is comical. Like, how bad can yarning be? Apparently, it's a cutthroat industry on YouTube. I went on. I was watching this craft thing, and all of a sudden, you hear them saying some of the same. Like, I know there's probably a better way to do this, but you know what? Don't come over here. Like, oh my God. In the yarn community, can you imagine? You're doing that cross stitch wrong. You need to pull it back out and redo it. You better not be making money off that stitch. I wonder how the content theft works over there. Do they film their hands and try to act like they're somebody else's hands or something like that? I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. I can't imagine can you imagine the fights over at the wax community? So some people with some of those weird inclinations might be the wax community for the fun of it. I don't know. It's getting hot in here. So it lightens it up just a little bit. Like when we can't even crochet without getting attacked. I think it's the people. That's all I can say. But we shook some trees. I knew by me going and challenging the storyline when it came to Chris, I knew it was gonna ruffle some feathers, but I had, it's part of the job. Nobody was telling us the answers that we wanted. And nobody was when they were giving us answers, they weren't providing any receipts. So it's like, how the heck are we supposed to make heads or tails of this, whether it's true or not, when, I can't just take somebody's word for it. I mean, even Terry Lynn was calling me. And maybe that's why she didn't call me back whenever I was trying to call, because we had coordinated to go, searching. And I left her a message Monday. I told her I could go out Tuesday. I'll be here. Give me a call. And I didn't hear from her. And I saw her going out yesterday, which I was already exhausted by the time I came back here. I wouldn't have been able to search with her anyways, because you got to remember, I start my day very, very early. So by 5 o'clock in the afternoon and 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I've usually already done, 12 to 14 hours of work. So to go out and do another, 4 or 5 hours. That's almost like 24 hours I've been running. I can't do it. It's just too much. But either way, I'm glad she's been out there searching, but I think I might have hurt her feeling. I didn't mean to, but because she was trying to explain all the stuff that she searched, and I had to explain to her, I understand you've searched this, or you've timed this in, you know how to get there from here to there at this time and stuff like that. I understood she did that, but it doesn't, that's her content. That's not mine. I haven't done it. I haven't done my tests on it, because at the end of the day, what she does and how she perceives the work is different than the work that, that even if it's the same work, I'm going to do it. I may come up with a different assessment than she did. So I can't, I have to trust my own work. And it's not that I'm going over or don't trust her work. It's just that I've got to, if I come from Hendersonville, if I want to drive from Hendersonville to Memphis and back to Hendersonville, I need to do that. I need to see what the timing is for myself. Especially she's like, yeah, I could get there under 2, but she couldn't even tell me like how, like under 2 hours, what does that mean? Was it just an hour and 59 minutes? Was it an hour and 45 minutes? If you can get there under 2 hours, which route did you take? And had, and she said she was going, significantly fast. And so I understand that, but, it's not, we have to consider that, there could have been Sebastian in that vehicle. And I don't know if he'd be at those rates of speed, but it's good to know that somebody could drive that rate of speed. But I still have to do my 2 tests myself, because I got to go at regular speed one night at that time. And then I've got to go at a higher speed the next night at that time, so we can get a good understanding of what the minimum time it would take to do the trip to the maximum time it would take to do the trip. I don't know if she's done that. She might have, but again, it's not my work. And I fact check everything personally for myself. It's just something we've always done. So I don't understand, hopefully she's not mad at me. I can't imagine she is mad at me. I think she just probably knew that she probably was watching and knew that I was going to be exhausted. I mean, I had an eventful day yesterday. I'm probably sure she just didn't want to bother me. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I'd like to get out there and search. But right now I can't locate, for me personally, I can't locate a good search area to start. That's the only reason why I'm not out there in the woods right now, is because I haven't located a good search area to search. I have a couple places that would be interesting, but other than that, that's all it is. They're just interest, and I still have to locate to make sure that they're public property, that I have access to them. If I don't have access to them, I've got to be able to reach out to the owners. This stuff is, because of what happened in this community early on, it's making it very difficult for people that really want to come out here and help, because people were just walking on people's property and searching, not even giving the homeowner the respect or courtesy or dignity to even walk up to him and say, hey, I'm so and so, how are you doing today? This is the South, okay? This is not New York City. People are a little more friendly here. You got to say hey to these people, okay? People don't just like you coming up and thinking you own it. They're very prideful people. They work their ass off to own what they have, and what they have is theirs. And you got strangers just coming up on their property. I can guarantee you 90% of these people that are hot under the collar around here would not be hot under the collar with just a simple common courtesy. And these people actually just walked up and said, hey, I'm so and so. Have you heard about this boy that's been missing? Well, of course we have. Well, that's great. Have you had an opportunity to search your property yet? Don't just assume they have not. There's a lot of things that were handled inappropriately here that, has turned people off. So it makes it a little more difficult for me to do my job because of the way things were handled previously. So now I've got to find out who these people are when I do locate my areas that I want to search, and make sure that I have the blessings of the people there to search. It's not, in other cases, we have a lot more stretched out area. We have more abandoned buildings. We have more properties that people have no interest in at all, could care less about us looking under. Those properties are readily available in other areas, not necessarily around here. It really does limit our areas of search. We're trying to find out where Chris was for 17 hours. That 17 hours, we don't know where that is. I'm not getting out in the woods I mean, you got to understand, they have like a major tick outbreak here as well. A lot of people don't acknowledge, right? So if I'm going to get out there and risk myself and getting ticks, it's going to be a targeted search. I need to know where I'm going. Somebody point me in the right direction and tell me where to go that hasn't been searched right around Hendersonville, Tennessee. You're not going to be able to. That's my problem. Even the Coburger route, I'm going to be trying to do the Coburger route and just drive out there and just see if it's prime. Because just because I think it is, there may be a lot of different variables, but I just don't think he's that close to the house. I think that he's a little further. I don't know why I think that, but I don't think he's in Memphis. And again, we've got the whole Alaska situation. We were trying to get the flyers out to Alaska. I think there have been people that have told me they were able to send some flyers out to relatives out there. So again, if you guys have relatives, find that endangered person, send them to your relatives in Alaska, ask them to share them around to their friends in Alaska. Because usually people, if they are on social media, the limited social media that they may be on, they may have some friends in and around the area that they can pass this around to. We also have another initiative right now for all the people, because there is a possibility that Sebastian could be. Again, we're not giving up any options just because I'm going down this path of interest. So we also are asking anybody that's from their states not to go outside their states, but in their states, look for, inpatient autistic centers that we know enough about Sebastian to know. Again, they're not going to tell us whether he's there, but if you do approach these inpatient programs and say, look, my name is so and so. I know you can't provide me information, but there is a child missing. His name's Sebastian Rogers. If you could please and kindly go to your computer and look at his face, and if you have him in your care, if you could reach out to 1-800-TBI-FIND, I would greatly appreciate that. It's something as simple as that. It's not intrusive. You're not asking for private information, and you're letting them know that you understand that they can't give you that information, but you really just need them to look at his photo and determine whether or not he is at their facility. And if he is at their facility, please reach out to law enforcement. A lot of people across this country do not know that Sebastian Rogers is missing. A facility that's in a different state would not know that this child is missing unless law enforcement has reached out to them or tried to acquire that information. But if law enforcement doesn't know where he's at, then it's hard for them to reach out anywhere to acquire information. And the only way we're going to get these centers to look at his face is if they're prompted to look at his face. So I know a lot of people are very concerned about that aspect, but that is something that don't go outside your state and start in your own county first and work out that way. I think if we did it that way, then the whole United States should be covered in less than a week. We should have every single autistic center called, and we should know 100% whether or not Sebastian is at any of these camps. And then at least we know we've done everything that we can to locate him in a facility. Now, that doesn't eliminate whether he's with family, whether Katie, gave him to family or whatever. We can't do that right at this moment. Now, will we get to that point where we start looking in Katie's family and start seeing if there's a possibility that this child's with them? Yes, there will be a point when we get to that. But right now, this is where we at. Everybody's concerned about these facilities in Alaska and other places, right? So let's reach out to them and point them in the direction of looking at the flyer of Sebastian Rogers. And if anybody sees him at these facilities, can immediately call 1-800-TBI-FIND. I think that's all we can do when it comes to that. Betty, get in touch with Silver on the scene. He would like a few signs to put up in the area. Well, I've only got like one more sign. I think I got one more sign left. I've given out, how many signs did I have? No, maybe I have. I gave out one. I think I gave two. And I had 5. So I have one more. I have 2 left. One I want to take home and put in my front yard. So I've got, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, if it's around here, I'd rather the signs stay around here. So I'll give him the last two signs that I have because I got a pole. I can post up his flyer on my pole, and I could probably order a sign myself and have that at the house for the sign for my yard. So I'll if somebody can get a hold of Silver and have him reach out to me on Gmail and just put in the subject line, this is Silver or something, so I can direct it. Yeah, I'll be happy to meet with him and give him some signs. If he's doing flyers, I don't want to leave town with any of the flyers. I want them all up. So I've still got my work cut out for me today because I still got half the flyers I need to post up. Um, but other than that, I think that's it. And then I'm gonna be making my way toward Kingsport. And so I'll be putting flyers up all the way down to Kingsport. Wherever I stop, I'm gonna be putting flyers up. I'll post them on poles and posts where I can. But I'll do everything I can, to try to get this boy's face out there. I was telling my mom all about this, and she don't follow. Her words were, "The law is involved, and everyone else crazy." Even she said that. What does it say? I don't really have a autism center in Pennsylvania, really. Ah, well, River isn't. I mean, well, I think the good news is like even we don't have like the centers and stuff, but I'm wondering, do they have like maybe some groups or something online? Because I feel like for whatever reason, like gaming and online stuff, it just seems like it really helps with autism. And I don't know. I mean, I know your experience is I know your experience would be different than say somebody else's experience, but I have to think that maybe there's like a support group or something that can benefit you or help you online. Not that it's your preferred method. I'm sure being around like me, I like people, so I like being around people, especially when I'm in a learning environment because I like especially if we're learning something new or anything. I like people that I can talk to, you know. Um, but in the flashlight video, you can see a man with a t-shirt on. You have to freeze it right before the video ends. T. Harris, like I want to. Is there any way you can blow it up and take a picture of it and send it to me? I want to see it. But I could probably do. I just don't have time. I got to wait until I'm home. Golly, I'm so freaking tired. Look how tired I am. I'm just like a hot mess express right now. I'm so tired. My eyes. Like I woke up this morning and it felt like my eyes were swollen, like the top lids were swollen. It was so hard to just like wake up. Um, Misty, it's nice to see you, love. Okay, y'all got to drive. Took a potty break. Be back in 30 minutes or so. Oh, okay. All right, Misty. Well, have a great day. If I don't see you, I'm hoping you're back before then. I can't see what times these things are coming in. I know I'm a little behind on messages. I know I skipped over a lot. There's a lot of messages here, so I have to take what I can take. You're the real hell. Thank you. I love that you don't give up and no one can run you off. I can't stand the bees, which I'm presuming the Bower Sox that always wants to talk shit about you and everyone, but never see her big head like out like you. There's I don't understand why people are so angry that I come out. Like, and literally, they can come out and post flyers if they so chose. None of these channels that ever have complained about me have ever done anything for any family. Not one thing. Even around Christmas, when it was time to, help a family in need, what do? They raise $500 for a douchebag that has his own channel from something that happened 2 years previously and decided to collect $70,000 from their audience to hire an attorney because they can't keep their mouth shut about me. Never once giving one disadvantaged family anything from any of that. And we tried to help fulfill a 8-year-old's Christmas list, and the mom didn't want anything. She just wanted everything to go toward her son. They called the church. They tried to find out everything that was being said, done, this, that, and the other. They won't do anything. But when I try to do it, they want to literally think that they're entitled to my finances, to what presents are sent, to what presents are received, to what presents are like. I'm like, these people have lost their ever loving mind. Like they truly, like in their thick skull, they actually believe that they're entitled to this stuff. I have never in my life. Like they literally think that they're entitled to demand stuff from me. Do they not realize that I don't know these people? And these are the people that are out here complaining and bitching and moaning and groaning about anybody and everybody that comes out here because they're too lazy to do anything. We make them look bad and then we make them look like shit because they never help out, never give one dime. They have plenty of money for their drugs, their alcohol, their pot, but they never have one dime for a flyer, a poster, or anything else. But they sure have a lot of bitching on stock and never once lifting a finger to help. And all they have to do is advocate for leave your petty crap out of it. But they can't because they're so jealous. She shouldn't be doing that. Oh, really? Why don't you show me how it should be done? Oh, you won't do that either. Got it. You just want to complain about everything. Never having, they think if they complain long enough, they won't have to do anything. They can just complain their way into success. It's the most insane thing I have ever heard in my life. I have never heard somebody complaining their way into success in my life, but that's literally their business plan. On the backs of a 15-year-old boy. Mm. Idaho H2O, I do not believe it. I would be very shocked if that, turns out to be true. I'd like to see it and even if he said it, doesn't mean he believes it. He's just saying it to be, popular for the time being. That man has stabbed me in the back. What this has done made me block them. They are becoming part of the crime interference with the police investigation. They are. They have been. Except before they used to manipulate their audience and say it was me. So you know what I did? For the last 2 years, now mind you, the last time I've done any trips was back in Quentin Simon that they can complain about. All of my stuff has been commentary and reporting. So literally 2 years ago was the last time that but see what I've done for the last 2 years is everything that they said, because I wanted to make sure that people knew exactly where the problems were coming from. I made sure everything that we just did our own thing. We removed a whole bunch of people. We, drowned out the noise. We did all this stuff because they kept blaming me for everything, right? I'm the one that's bringing the cops. I'm the one that's doing this. Well, they can't sit because their evilness, they're so thick skulled. They keep thinking that the way they used to do things, they can still do. But see, the problem is I don't have the group. We're doing everything above board. Making sure that everything is not behind the scenes and stuff like that. And now it's showing them as being the instigators. Who was calling the police? Do you think I was calling the police out there 50 times at Fred Quinn and Simon? No, these hate channels and their subscribers were. They were creating the drama a long time ago. They just kept blaming me for it. Now they can't. Now the proof is truly in the pudding because I've stripped everything away. So they can't sit there and say that I'm spending my subs money. You guys don't pay me, right? How often do you guys put super chats here and there? But at the end of the day, we see like $200, $300, $400 super chats. So we don't do that over here. People tip me or want to say something or don't want me to miss their comment in here. I mean, that's normal stuff. Nothing out of it, but all this stuff is supported by the ad revenue generated from this channel. The ad revenue and the ad revenue alone, not from my subscribers, from my work. That means the stuff that I produce and put on this channel and you guys view it, I collect those, that when you guys watch those commercials, I collect a revenue from that. That's what I use for these cases. You understand? And when we do, I mean, it's like when I first started out here, we did. A lot of people sponsored our trip, but again, we were new. I had to sell a truck for everything holy. But what are they doing? We're here. I'm sunburned. So I just want you guys, it's not that I'm full of myself. I know Justin likes to say that. One, I'm confident. But two, it's not about that. And it's not him personally. It's these other people that sit here and talk mad cash shit about everybody that helps. And they are literally They're the furthest thing from help. They don't try to support financially. They don't try, all they do is sit there and complain about everybody else. And people like literally drive to them in droves, dogging this family, dogging Seth, dogging all of this stuff. And then the people that are coming out to help, they're dogging them too. At what point when is people going to say, hey, but what are you doing to help? Besides complaining. Nobody's saying that. What has Seth done? What does it say? What is Seth and Tony's? I can't even read it. It's not going up. I got to wait until somebody said about showing up. I'm sure everybody was a little uncomfortable with that whole situation. I was uncomfortable, but I'm one of those people that address it. And I wanted to make sure I captured him on camera because we just watched him pull up behind me. I could see him in my camera. And you guys found him lurking around, like almost an hour or 45 minutes before that interaction happened. So he literally was following me for over an hour. This is an unlicensed man that has no business following me. I followed nobody while on my trip here. I tracked nobody on my trip here. I had a job to do. I told everybody exactly what I was going to be doing here when I was here, and I've done everything I said I was going to be doing here. And I got followed. Never threatening anybody, but I've been threatened by Chris. I was threatened by, obviously, the presence of Terry threatened me, and I had made it very clear if any of them showed up after threatening my life, that I would take it as action against those threats. And Tony or not Tony, sorry, Tony, Terry. Oh my God, that misspeak's gonna go viral, Tony. Terry shows up. That feels like he was acting on that intimidating threat. I'm just saying, it just does. Do you use on X to plot I think you meant hashtags? To plot your hashtags? I don't know what you mean. Ren, do you use on X to plot your hashtag? I think you're talking about do I use them on X? I don't know. I'm sorry, that came in wrong. If you want to, I'll try to see if you write. You don't have to make a new comment thing. I'll try to look for your comment, but I didn't understand what you were asking. I'm so sorry. They are watching. Your name's not making me feel comfortable. Just FYI. No, I'm just joking. There are sick people in the hospital. It makes no sense for somebody to be there at 5:30 in the morning. It doesn't. But there are people there. I just want to make sure that the gate is open at 5:15, and Chris would have known that. I think that's why he stated that time or started passing that rumor around, because the gate is open. It's just the heavy equipment's not being ran. It's the people inside that are, putting in the water lines, putting in the electric, because you got to run all that stuff. Once you get the like the bottom level filled, now it comes where people need to bring in the water lines, and all those electric lines, because before this this building is built, you have like gravel and stuff like that. Well, the water lines are put under before they even pour the slab of concrete, and then they once the slab of concrete goes up and some of the walls go up, then they have to pull all that stuff through and start following blueprints and putting their water, so everything, works in. So all the people inside the building, there are people that are getting there at 5:15, but no heavy equipment's being used. So that doesn't start happening until around 7, and that would be in Chris would be in, heavy equipment. So it is, I mean, to be honest with you, it is open. There are people there. It is light outside. However, during the time that this happened, it wasn't daylight savings time. So it didn't even get light out until at least 6:30. So it was barely breaking. On X app for your searches, Leffel, I tried today. On app. Too tired today, sorry. Oh, okay, gotcha, yeah. So let me go up there and read you didn't have to do that again. Let me go up here and read the other one first. What does it say? Yes. So yes, I do. I'm on X app. I'm under American Law 411 or Bullhorn Betty. if that's what you're asking. I think that's what you're asking. I'm tired too. Don't. My brain's going chug a lug a lug a lug a lug. It's like I'm so exhausted right now. I think it's the heat. Like yesterday out in that sun, you guys don't understand what 100-degree weather is. Walking around with, I mean, my bag was light, but it's still something holding on, and that heavy staple gun. I think Big Head talks about you because she loves Chris. She's in love with Chris. Well, she seems dirty, so obviously those type of people think everybody sleeps with everybody and everything, like their people do, and I've obviously seen that because in this group, I like the group that was with Seth before. Good gracious, look at all the bed swapping and that's a little weird for me. I'm going to stay in my own lane. I know how to keep up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying I don't have these problems. People get off the BHB, showed up at the hospital. She went to the construction. Oh yeah, I went to the construction site. They're trying anything that they can to elicit an emotional response from their audience. And their audience is like, they just listen to them. And it's like, these people are so stupid. You can't make this stuff up. Like you literally can't make this stuff up. And no matter how because it doesn't even matter. They know it was a construction site, but it's not about trying to get the information. They're trying to, drowned out the fact that Chris wasn't at work at 5:15. So it's like, oh my God, Betty showed up at the children's hospital. Yeah, but why was I there? It's because I'm challenging Chris's story. He said he's passing around a rumor that he was at work at 5:15. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't seem like it holds water. Sorry. What do you want me to say? Sounds like somebody got their feelings hurt that I'm checking their story. Oh well, I hurt a lot of people's feeling on a daily. I've never been accused of being a sweetie pie. Okay? Never been accused of that at all. Sourpuss? Yeah. Asshole? Yeah. Other graphic names? Yeah. But never sweetie pie. I'm good here. I'm good there. What is that? I'm good. I'm nice. I am nice. I'm courteous. I just don't think I'm the sweetest person in the world. Just saying. Olivia? Yeah. Sonya's sweet. Oh, the car guy and his wife, those people were they were sweet. They were nice. I like them. I like Crimecast, his wife, real sweet people. I met a lot of great people while I was here. There's no doubt about it. I met a lot of great people while I was here. And those are the people that I gravitate to, right? The people that are actually out here trying to make a difference, trying to find out answers. I gravitate to those people. I can't stand anybody that complains about a whole bunch of stuff and never does anything about it. I mean, I get attacked more than anything else on this platform because I stand on my convictions and I don't back down. And people like to control other people. So if they don't like something and you're uncontrolled, they like to bully you. They like to bully you into submission. Well, the problem is the more you bully me, the harder I work. So that's where they screwed up, because the more they bullied me, the harder I work. That's why we're succeeding when we should have been failing. Well, the bottom line is things aren't making sense, and I don't like Nick Barris, coming out and saying he thinks there's a third party. Are you serious? Who? What third party is in this boy's life? He's got very little friends. He had very little contact online. How did he get out of the house? And if he willingly went out of the house, then why would he absolutely refuse to put on his shoes? I don't get it. I really don't. And not only that, but to have a missing child. I can tell you that it's probably very hard for Seth to see another child. I mean, of course, he'd probably smile and everything like that, but to be thinking of his son, I'm sure that he's going to the store, right? Seeing the kids in the store. I'm sure that has to hurt him immensely. You know, going to the store and having to shop and it being a weekend and not having his best friend right next to it, his buddy next to him. I can't imagine what that feels like. And then to watch Katie, literally watch Katie putting her hands over this girl, this little girl, and giving her all this love that we have yet to see exhibited for her own son infuriates me. And people want to talk about that photo. I guarantee there's not one person that can tell me what faith looks like. They want to sit here and complain about these photos, but not one time was face. You cannot tell me what faith looks like. I guarantee anybody and everybody out there, if this child was walking down the road, not with the Bowersocks or the Proudfoots, just walking down the road, not one person out here would even know that that was faith. Because we haven't identified Faith. We've never showed her full photo on here. You get a side view at best. It was grainy at best. I can guarantee if you saw this child, she probably wouldn't be anything that you think she looks like. I will tell you that based upon the photos that have been shown. So even there, you can't say that we have broke her identity. If you do, ask them for receipts, because you can't. I guarantee there's not one person that can tell me or describe to me what Faith looks like other than her skin tone and her hair color. That's it. So with that being said, I just want to, defuse some of the rumors out there. I just don't understand how these people can act like this. When I saw Seth, you could clearly see this is bothering him. I saw him watching videos and tearing up. It's very, very difficult for me to see Katie and Chris so unconcerned with Sebastian. And then we have Nick Barris saying he thinks it could be a third party. Welcome to the Sebastian Rogers case. Nothing makes sense. Absolutely not a damn thing. Just saying. As a stranger to Sebastian, constantly thinking where he is and praying for his safe return. We pray more for this child than his own mother does. I truly, wholeheartedly believe that in the deep depths of my soul. That you and I, that don't know this kid, cares more about this child than his own mother. Than his own mother. If TBI or Sumner County would interrogate KP alone, she would crack. Honestly, Ren, I think they have. You guys think Katie is this pitiful woman? Like, this woman is not. She is a protege of Chris Proudfoot, probably the ringleader, if anything. You guys are totally missing who Katie is, in my opinion. I think Katie is probably more manipulative than Chris Proudfoot ever is. I guarantee that she might be the one pulling the strings, and Chris might be just her little boy toy doing whatever she asks. You'd be surprised. I'm just saying. Don't think Katie. I think Katie's a little harder than you think she is. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. But Nick is the official PR. Exactly, Tony. Exactly. He's the official PR guy for Sumner County, and me being here, and this probably isn't what they want. And, it is what it is. I'm going to look. They can't stop me. They can't tell me what I can and cannot say. I'm doing what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, some of this stuff isn't holding water, and it's still making me try to figure out how in the world forensics hasn't been done inside of that house yet. And now they're looking at possibility of foul play, which they've been looking at for a while. Let's face it. The DA was on scene within 3 days. I mean, this has been looking at like foul play. The DA doesn't get involved unless there might be a criminal case. Period. Sorry. So that's where we're at. And I get that, there's been a lot of rumors out here, but I'm telling you, I really, really, it's highly, highly, short of somebody sending me information that proves that Chris was in that seat. I don't believe he was in that seat at 5:15. There's no sleeping. Otherwise, I don't care what the rumors say. I don't care. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. There was no heavy machine operators that morning. Those heavy machine operators don't come in until much later. All the people that were down there that were showing up at 5:15 were ground labor. They weren't equipment labor. They were ground labor. They were the plumbers. They were the whatever was going on inside there. I don't know what they were doing inside the building, but whatever they were doing inside the building on that first floor, that's where those people at 5:15 were going. They weren't going out doing any work on the outside. They were all inside the building. Everybody that was going in there were going into there and going inside of the building. And they were working, and they were scattered all over the building. Like, you could see people all the way in the back over here. You could see people walking over here. So it wasn't like they were having a meeting either. They were doing their own jobs. They were working inside the building, but they were inside the building. Outside of the one guy out at the gate doing something, and the guy sitting in the chair with the stop sign, there was nobody outside. So Tony, can you tell us exactly what forensics have been done? I don't know if they would know, but I mean, Tony, if you know, if Seth's in here, if anybody knows if they've done any or what type of forensics they've done, I'm all ears too, because I got to be honest with you. To me, when I look at the um, uh, missing and exploited children, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and their directives and what their protocols are, what they think the protocols should be. One of the biggest things that I see in every single bit of publication from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children is one thing and one thing only: always treat the scene as a crime scene, whether it is or not, until it can be disputed as not being a crime scene. Always treat it as a crime scene. I feel like that's what they failed to do. They didn't treat this like a crime scene. They had people inside that house trampling on the stupid crime scene. This was so John Benet Ramsey 1990s policing that it unnerves me. We should know better at this point in 2024. Because when you listen to how everything went, it sounds so John Benet Ramsey. People were in the house, they were chit-chatting, they should have cleared the home, they should have done the searches. Those people shouldn't have been allowed back in the house until some dust, fingerprints, and everything was done. But the reason why it's taken John Benet Ramsey is because they trampled the crime scene and screwed up the forensics. And then law enforcement was too embarrassed. The Boulder, Colorado Police Department was too embarrassed to admit their wrongdoing and has intentionally obstructed their own case ever since. I hate how some use clips from your videos. They are using their for their own. It is what it is. That's why it doesn't matter. People come over here, and once they get triggered, they'll start watching, and they'll realize that the people that are giving them, throwing that narrative are either lying to them or they don't really care. And they want to go watch them because they want to be part of the mean cool kids. Either way, I really don't care. As long as they ain't trying to cause me financial damage or try and take my channel, I could care less what they're doing. That's what Queen Bee did. She tried to damage me and literally terminate my account. That was fine. That, like, she was trying to make it that I couldn't even afford groceries. So yeah, that's why that chick's being sued. People want to talk shit, they can talk shit. I really don't care what they have to say about me. They're not here, they're not doing the work, and I laugh at them like there's shit on the bottom of my shoe. I could care less what they say. That's all they're doing, is talking about somebody they'll never be able to compete or compare next to. I make them feel worse. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't mean to do that, but it's not me doing it. Anybody that attacks somebody this long and this hard and is so obsessed with them, obviously there's something that person has that they don't have. And they want to try to hurt somebody and make themselves feel better. That's the only explanation for that. when you trash somebody else, it's usually to make yourself feel good. So if they're trashing me, it's only because I'm bringing out some inadequacies in them. I think KP is seeing her life marriage being ruined and blames Sebastian. And I believe he would never be able to care for himself. Yeah, I think that that's kind of how she felt too. And that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying that she was looking at, having a child that didn't have any problems versus her child that had problems. And I wanted to have the impact of how she said it, because I feel like that's how she looked at her son. I feel like she looked at her son like he was defective. And I feel like she was tired of taking care of a defective kid. And her husband gave her an ultimatum, either him or her son, because Chris wanted his daughter there and he did not want her son around his daughter. Well, it just so happens that Sebastian disappeared shortly after that. Chris got his daughter like he had planned. And guess what? He got his daughter like he had planned without Sebastian anywhere around. It gives me, it unnerves me in a way that I can't really express in words. And then you got Nick Barris saying that he believes it's a third party. And law enforcement doesn't have a clue and has no information or no evidence. Well, you know what, law enforcement, you actually got to collect the damn evidence to have it, okay? And you assholes haven't even collected the forensics. So, you actually kind of have to look for evidence in order to have it. And from where I'm standing, not all the evidence has been collected. They're obstructing their own case, kind of like John Benet Ramsey. Again, I want to make sure I state this to the 1,500. We got 500. We got 1,500 people in chat, and we've got 500 people, 500 likes. Guys, for those that are here, why don't you guys go ahead and put your thumbs up? Let us know what your number is. Let us know where you're call or where you're from and what the temperature is like. I can tell you yesterday. Let me look at the temperature here. I'm somewhere in Tennessee. And my somewhere in Tennessee is, let's look at the temperature. We are 80 degrees right now, mostly cloudy, a high of 90 degrees and a low of 71. The low of 71 never comes, I can guarantee that. Unless it's like nighttime, because I wasn't feeling a 71 degree yesterday. But it is 80 degrees right now here at my location in Tennessee. It looks like it's going to be a bright day. It looks like it's going to reach its max temperature today around 12 p.m. And it looks like it's going to be sunny with a little bit of clouds out there. There's your forecast for the area I am in. Oh, 4 flying doves. It's nice to see you. We've got Jackson, Tennessee at 74. We've got Texas at 80. North Georgia is 99 degrees. Australia is 1 degree Celsius. That's like cold, isn't it? You guys, Australia, that cold? Is it like winter for you guys when it's summer for us? We got Montucky, 57 degrees. Kentucky is rainy. We got Illinois at 74. Long Beach, California is 67 this morning. We have Ohio at 75, another area of Tennessee at 82, let's see, we got Virginia at 80, Wisconsin at 68, Maine at, no, that's Massachusetts at 76. So we got some Chattanooga, 79, Southeast Georgia, 101 today. Good Lord, Mama Lee. Good Lord. Okay, so Louisiana, 80 degrees. So Ontario, Canada, about 82. The Manchester, UK, 83. Lancaster, PA, 73. Massachusetts, 80. So we got a great view of what our morning light, VA, 99. So we got a lot of heat over on the east side. And the west side seems like it's okay. East side versus west side. We're hot over here. You're cold over there. Kingsport is 95. Wow, I'll be in Kingsport later today. Alabama 77. Well, wow. Thank you guys. 74 in Ohio. 74 in Ohio. Yep, got it. Nice. Nice. So there we have it. Now, what other stuff did we find out? So let's just go over some of the just to kind of regroup on what we've learned. So I don't think the community was as dark as we were anticipating. Now we did talk about the Ring doorbell cameras. Now I did test a few things out. There are multiple cameras out there, but one of the things I noticed with my Ring doorbell camera, and I probably should have thought that through a little bit better, even though the quality on my Ring doorbell camera is literally amazing. There is some, I don't know, I think there might be something related to the triggering of the camera itself. That's what I'm trying to say. The triggering of the camera itself is what would be the problem. And I don't know, because when I was looking at my cameras, even though it was crystal clear imaging, I was pretty much having to be, moving in front of that camera, like at my car or walking out the door. And that's why I was looking at the other cameras, because the one camera that always triggers for all the stuff across the board is the other cameras. Like I have another camera that sits in my window, and that picks up all the cars that go by. And then there's like when I met with the car guy, he was showing me other different types of security cameras, some that screw in, some that are on floodlights and other things that pick up better quality images than the Ring doorbell cameras. So one thing I never looked at was the floodlights. How many of the floodlights around there actually have video cameras? I didn't check. I personally don't know. So I really like that. But when you do get the triggering of the Ring doorbell camera, it does trigger. But I don't know if I feel like when he's walking by that it would trigger the Ring doorbell if he's on the same side of the road. But I don't know. I'm going to have to go home, and when I get to an opportunity, I'm going to have to check that to find out what the distance is, at least for mine. It's not a conclusive test by any stretch of the imagination, but at least it'll give us a little bit of direction, on one way or the other. So I don't know. I've got a challenge. I just got to check that and play that one through, because I want to see what triggers the Ring doorbell cameras, because I don't want to miss something, because I feel like they should have a lot more video evidence than they do. But it might be because I think that those Ring doorbell cameras can pick up motion further away than they maybe can. So I want to challenge that. And the only way I can challenge that is with my service, because I don't know anybody that has service, unless somebody around here does. But I'm not going to be here tonight. I won't be back here for a few days. But I am coming back before I head back to Florida. Somebody told me you can, not only that, but somebody said that you can also change the sensitivity on your Ring doorbells cameras. So I'm going to check and see if there's a sensitivity, how sensitive mine is. That might be it. But the question is, how many people would have known that? I didn't know that. So even though we do have a if it is true, we have a sensitivity, like we can adjust the sensitivity or the range or something. How many people know that, and how many people will actually do that? Most people just take it out of the package and install it, like I did. Most of the people probably don't even read the instructions. So again, I'm not sure how many people would have known about that. So we have to, put that into the equation and think that maybe the majority of those people didn't adjust any of their sensitivity or their range. It was whatever stock settings, default settings that it came out of the package is what we have to work with. So before I change any settings on mine, I'm going to work with it, just like me. I took it out of the package, screwed it in, and placed it up and hooked it up. And that was the end of that. That's all she wrote. So, okay, thank you. So that really is all, and it doesn't really matter with the slow motion stuff. Slowing down chat. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be signing off anyways. We've been here kind of in your ear for about an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know what I'm going. I've got some things I got to do today. I got to post some flyers here and there and go still talk to some people. But I'm rolling out today, so I'm going to just kind of chill here for a little bit and do some research, get caught up on emails, and then I'll be getting on the road. So I don't know when we'll go live again. I have to think that I probably won't go live until I reach to my next destination and I come from the hotel. Would probably be the next live I do. And again, I will be here, for the night. Not here. I'll be, oh, I'm so tired. I'll be in Kingsport for the night, and then I'll be heading over to Virginia. I'll be there for a night, and then I'll be back here in Hendersonville. And then I'll be here for another, I think, a day or two, and I'll be heading back. I may decide to only come back here for a day, depending on where I get. But I think right now I just need to I don't know. It's so difficult with this. There's so many stinking variables in this case. It's hard. Chris is the variable. I mean, he really is. It's just I need to go. I feel like I'm running out of time on this trip, but I need to go up and down I-40 and go off every single ramp on the way to Memphis. That's the work that needs to be done. That's truly the work that needs to be done. And it needs to be done in the middle of the night when he would have been traveling because I got to see what was open. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. After Virginia, yeah, after Virginia, I think I'm going to Memphis. After Virginia, I'm going back to Memphis. I'm going to go back to Memphis and we're going to challenge the route. We're going to challenge the route. I'm going to do it in the middle of the night. We're going to reenact that evening from Chris's perspective. From Memphis down, I don't care about, people are like, don't tell him I don't care. No matter where I go, these people stalk me anyways. So I really don't care. I'm just going to work the way I work. They screw around too much. They go to jail. They can do whatever they need to do. I don't care. I don't care. So at this point, that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go to Virginia, do my work in Virginia. I'm going to come back. I'm going to start in Memphis. I don't even think I'm going to get a hotel in Memphis. I'll probably go ahead and order a hotel wherever I might, because I've got to go back to Memphis that night as well, because I'm doing the entire round trip. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're gonna drive it at that time of night. We're gonna reenact that. We're gonna reenact everything. We're gonna reenact everything. One of the 2 days. I may wait until the day that I roll out of here, so I don't have to worry about any of the drama from social media, because I probably won't do it live. Obviously, I will most likely do it by camera, but I don't think I'll be live doing it, because again, not worth the drama, not worth, and I'll have to produce it in a video format for you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and challenge that. We're going to go ahead and challenge the drive, how long it would truly take him in the middle of the night. We'll start from Yogi, because I'm not going to start by St. Jude's, because he wasn't at St. Jude's that time of night. He would have been in his camper at Yogi Campground. So I will go ahead and do that travel. We'll get that captured. We'll see what our real true time is for a round trip at that time of night. That'll help me. And then we've got to still figure out when Chris actually left, because I have a theory on that too. So we've got to figure that out. But I have a theory on that too. So I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, guys, but that's just kind of the itinerary that I've got, the rough draft of itinerary that I got. I think Seth is going to be setting up a live or something like that. I'll let you guys know when that is. I'm going to actually be going on Seth's channel to bring awareness for his son. I don't know when that's going to be set up, but whenever we get an opportunity to get that set up, I will make sure everybody knows so we can go over to Seth's channel and have a discussion about his son. I hope you guys are doing great today. Again, I will be back sometime later today. I'm not quite sure when, but I'll most likely be on the phone and everything like that. So I hope everybody's doing great. Have a great day. God bless, and we'll see you soon. Rock it out with your coffee beans out.